viewers and listeners alike, you are welcome to the program National Agenda. National Agenda, as you know, is a current affairs program of the DITV Alheri radio. Also is a program designed to highlight some of the current issues in the country. It is also a program that invites expert scholars to discuss on the topic. Our topic today will, of course, examine the current conduct of primary elections of the People's Democratic Party, and also the forthcoming primary election of the APC. We are also going to discuss about money politics. My guest today is Comrade Musa Zubairu, a scholar, a political analyst, and a nationalist who speaks on national issues. Comrade, you are welcome to this program.
Balarabe and our workers here in DITV, our listeners and viewers at home, I say a very good morning to all of us.
This is it. You are welcome to this program. Let us first of all look at People's Democratic Party, PDP, has just concluded its primary election across the country. The recent one is the presidential primary, where former Vice President Atiku Abubakar became its presidential flag bearer. Let us look at how would you assess the conduct of the primary itself vis-a-vis the politics used that gave the primary to Atiku Abubakar, who emerged as the presidential flag bearer. So let us discuss his emergence.
Well, you asked two vital questions. One, you asked the conduct of the elections, and when you talk about conduct, you are talking about the way people carried out the election, the way it was planned, the way it was arranged. So I think the arrangement by the PDP, when you talk about the conduct of the election, I think really is something that should be appreciated, because it was so clear, it was so transparent. Everybody saw the calmness of the delegates, everybody saw the officials being so transparent, and everybody was doing what is supposed to be done. We have not seen any rancor happening anywhere. So I think really we can say kudos to Nigerian political arrangements within the context of the conduct of the arrangement for that election, or that mini convention that brought out their presidential flag bearer. So that is it. When you talk about the politics used within the context of that program, is something that really has left many Nigerians really with a sour taste in their mouth, and I think many Nigerians were not happy with what we have heard and what we were hearing as at the time of the election. The kind of lobbying that has taken place is unprecedented, because at least without any evidence, we have heard that money were really exchanged, votes were voted, and I think some of the things that we really need to start fighting is vote buying. Vote buying is a criminal offense, and nobody has ever been punished or prosecuted for that kind of offense. So for a political party that is in opposition and wants to come to power, now to really engage in that kind of politics, I think really is really unbecoming of that. But at the same time, the politics that were done there again is something that you will appreciate, like the people that withdrew their contest for a candidate. Okay, now let's say Atiku, like Tambuwal. Tambuwal really, as far as I'm concerned, politics aside, he has done marvelously as expected of a politician, so that not to get the whole arena crowded. So he decided, he knew that he's not going to make it to the point. So what he said was that, now look, let me now not dissipate too much energy, let me go somewhere. So from what we were hearing, the rumor we were hearing, two things were there, you understand, but I would say one. The other one is something that can criminalize what we are saying now. But the fact of the matter is that he must have judged for himself that the president now, Muhammad Buhari, is from the Northwest geopolitical zone. And then he come to realize that he cannot really make it, because Adwa just finished from the Northwest geopolitical zone. And the only geopolitical zone that has not tested power within the context of North and South sharing of power, or she is sharing. I think it's only Southeast and the Northeast that have not really tested the Aso Rock Villa. So if that is the case, then I think really Amin Tabol must have thought very well to have said that he has withdrawn. He has withdrawn his support for that, and then to now align with Muhammadu Atiku Abubakar. Yeah. So if that's the case, then I think that politics too, we should really appreciate it. Now this, we appreciate it from the point of view of the fact that we should not take politics as a matter of life and death. We should take politics from the context of, one, the view of not confusing the electorates, to make sure that they have a focus, and at the same time to reduce the heavy load on the system. So I think if that is what politicians will do, to be able to accommodate, to be able to assess themselves, to know who is more superior than me, now to accept that reality, I think it's a very, very good move. So that one I have also noticed that, and I have seen that. But the fact of the matter is that Nigerians will never be happy. Nigerians will never be happy with particularly the people that were called delegates. That name delegate now has been derogated, that nobody will now see anything good about the delegates because of the kind of money they have taken. Some people, according to these social media reports, is that there's a delegate that has gone back home with about 8 million naira.
Yes,
so
yes. Follow up to that, comrade. In previous years, you know, there was this attempt to see that delegates system is discouraged. In fact, it was advocated that all card-carrying members should have been the delegate. It means it's an open thing.
Yes.
But unfortunately,
yes,
it was
me and you and another guest here.
Yes,
we sat here. We were advocating for the direct primaries to the extent that we made Nigerians to appreciate what is direct primaries. Because people thought that direct primary is just to have one member of the party after the other, to have a queue. You understand? That's what they thought. But direct primaries doesn't mean that. Direct primary simply means that any card-carrying member, without now selecting few to give them that kind of prestige over the other members of the party, will have a hand, will have a say in selecting a candidate for the party. That's what is there. So I thought that Nigerians have had that. The leaders of the political parties have had that. The leaders of our thoughts have had that. But they refused. They gave it that connotation that if this thing is happening, then somebody will come and then create mayhem there, and then everybody will start running helter-skelter. So many casualties will fall, and all those things. So these ones are not the case. So in direct primaries that we have been running away from, yes. And I believe really we must have to go back to the direct primaries, because the electors will revolt whenever this kind of system is brought again, because you cannot just select some few people to give them the prestige that they deserve, to override them over other people that have this conviction, that have this nationalism, that have this patriotism, to have some people that don't have this care, that don't have this feeling for humanity. I'm not stereotyping. I'm just telling the fact. So to come and then give them this kind of prestige, overrate them over the other people, I think really that cannot be. So what we are simply saying is that now conduct direct primaries, announce it, now give time. If maybe you fix 9 o'clock in the morning and then somebody comes 9:30, close the gate. He will not be opportune to go. And then take note of that. You can do it direct primaries. Now have the ballot boxes. Now everybody should go and vote a candidate of his own. Yes. Since the candidates are known. So these direct primaries. But these ones you have you have them, you go and hide them in a hotel, you go and camp them somewhere, and then you start negotiating, you start bargaining. So to the extent that you find that the people that are going to be the flag bearers of the parties and the people that will select the flag bearers of the party are all criminals. You understand? Yes. They don't deserve to rule the people of this country. So this is where we are. So you find that we are making a mockery, we are making a caricature of the whole system, and it can't continue. The system must have to be controlled in such a way that everybody will have that sense of belonging. Everybody will have that sense of conviction that what is being done is right. Now look, what happened now? The kind of money that have been exchanged within this, I think really would make Nigerian democracy laughable. no matter how much we want to use diplomacy to cover it, I can tell you those countries will see it as laughable matter. They can just congratulate us because they want our petrol, because they want our gold, because they want our uranium.
Yes.
So you see, yes. so because they need some of these things, I can tell you they will never say anything bad against, but you wait and see how many of these countries will now encourage their citizens to come here and put their investments
or land from our system.
So no, they can only land, maybe they will come and land to see what we are doing, so that if this thing is happening there, they will have a solution to it. You see, like what we have learned in criminology, and especially in what we call crime statistics. In the area of crime statistics, you must learn some of these things, not necessarily because you have it, but because you anticipate they are coming, and then you have to do something to stop this kind of ugly things from coming to you. So sometimes when we go further, we'll have to explain why the delegates receive such kind of money. Because if you read one book by Adele Junaidu, when I was in my College of Education days, I think I was very particular about a chapter in the book where he was saying that there is moral justification for some of these inadequacies. Particularly, there is moral justification for violence. Here he's not talking about violence to go and destroy. You understand? Violence to resist, you understand, the orders of your superiors or the orders of the people that were in government, to resist them, to refuse to take their orders, to refuse to take whatever they brought, resist them. So there is justification for that.
Even if it is detrimental,
yes,
to them or to the system.
No, in fact, you as a person, if it is detrimental to you, you have every right to resist. It's now the law court that will be able to interpret whether it is against the law or not against the law. But somebody will just go and sit down. You have voted him into office. You have given him the mandate. He didn't have this mandate. He didn't go to a wrestling bout, you understand, to take over, to defeat his fellow mates. Yes. You made him, your benevolence, you understand, gave him the mantle to come and do. But you find that all these instruments, all these structures of democracy are flouted and are left to wins like that. It's not possible. It can't continue like this. So Nigerian democracy must have to be sanitized. And here we must blame the third tier of government. Oh, sorry, the third,
second tier.
No, the second, the third tier, that is the judiciary.
Okay.
You understand? So the third arm. So the third arm of government, not tier. Tier is the local government. Yes. So the third arm of government, that is judiciary. Judiciary, really, they are lagging. In fact, Nigerian judiciary, sometimes you find that a case between a tenant and a landlord will take you years. From the what do you call it? What do you call the lower court? That is from the magistrate court. It will take you to Supreme Court. What kind of nonsense is this, for God's sake? What kind of people are we? So here you have to find that the NBA, that is the NBA, that is the Nigerian Bar Association, as if really they are not working, as if they are not checking the excesses of their members. You find that certain things that need really to be solved within the context of national interest, national unity, national harmony, you see, are not done with the time they should be done. To the extent that many Nigerians don't see the judiciary as the last hope of the common man. So when we look at some of these things, and you look at the lackadaisical attitude of our legislature, the legislature hardly carry out any oversight duty that will really help the people of this country to appreciate what is democracy. So they see things, they allow things to go because, one, the people that are in the executive arm of the government might have sponsored them to be where they are. You see, we have to say it as it is, because Nigeria now, we have come to what we call the crossroad. Do you know what is called the crossroad? So where you have a road here that is there, you come to the crossroad, then you have to stop at the crossroad to select whether to go this way or to go this way. You will start lingering over the choice. So that choice is what is very difficult, and that is what really Nigerian leadership are not really putting into consideration. So I think we really need to look at it that way. So when you talk about really the politics used in that place,
yes,
and all these things, I think I have said it relatively fine.
Yes.
The arrangement by I'm not condemning them all along, because we'll come and look at the other party, then there we can make comparison. But what they have done within the context of the arena, You understand? It was so beautiful. And how they did the first screen accreditation, the second accreditation, the voting, even the counting. It was so fun to the extent that it was finished before 1 a.m. So it was very, very fine. That was the time that the same PDP did this during the era.
Anyway, before we come to them,
we have to stay up to 2 a.m., up to early in the morning to see the results.
Okay, this issue of delegates, we have seen practically how money was used. In fact, dollar was used. We are even made to understand the price of dollar skyrocketed because it was the delegates were paid in dollars, not even in naira. Seeing it practical, don't you think?
No, I didn't see it practical. I didn't see it practical.
This is it. The EFCC is there with his own eyes open. The INEC is there too because their representatives are all over. And unfortunately, this thing came into being and just go into the thin air like this. Don't you think acts like this should be checked by these two agencies?
Well, you see, the primary election,
yes,
you understand, is the baby of the political party. It's not the issue of AFCC. They are just there as observers. By the law, they don't have any role to play, but they have a role to play. Their role is that let them take note, let them gather evidences of all those people that are sharing money.
Yes.
So let them take note of that. Immediately after, you see, sometimes in the execution of the law, you understand, you have to be very, very mindful of the repercussion and what the society will talk about it. So you are there. You have seen them sharing money. Take note. Use your camera. Lose everything you have. Take evidences of some of those things. Then immediately after, he goes to his hotel, go and pick him. Go and pick him like it's happening in all over the countries. You understand? Because to vote buying is a criminal offense of the highest order in this country. Because vote buying can truncate our democracy. And we come to a time when the politicians are not even cautious of that. They do it freely. They don't care what happened. You can even imagine, sometimes in some states, the votes were bought, but the candidates were not voted for. So they sent for their money. And yet the government is watching this. The anti-graft agencies are watching some of these things. So INEC too cannot be able to say anything, not until they are called now to attest to that. All INEC went there to see is to make sure that, now look, these elections were conducted with the delegates as announced. And that's just it. So even if a candidate has a case, his first point of call should be the party. He should now, petition to the party. There is the party now that will set the machinery to investigate some of those things. There is only when the party said they have exhausted everything and the candidate is not really satisfied, then that's when he will go to the court of law. And when he goes to the court, that's where INEC will be invited to now testify because they were there.
Yes.
You understand? So if truly they got there to now testify before a judicial court of competent jurisdiction, then it is now left for them as well, since they know they are going there, to prepare their documents, to prepare that they have gone there to work, to prepare everything they will have as evidence against or in support of democracy.
Well, in this regard, I mean, having said that, do you see PDP forming the central administration despite its recent strategy of internal party democracy? You have seen how democratized the elections were, and indeed the emergence of the flag bearer of the party. Do you see them really coming closer to?
You see, you are asking me a very, very difficult and very, very sensitive question that if I really make it an analysis, I cannot be able to answer that until when I see what the APC will bring out.
Yes.
But within the context of what we are saying is that now, at least they have got the best candidate out of the people that have contested the election with him. And that is why I think one of the hopefuls in the APC was quick to go and congratulate him. Like Bola Ahmed Tinubu has gone there physically to congratulate Atiku Abubakar. They may be friends, but at the same time they are in different camps, and they are now going to compete together, hopefully. So it is when they come together that we will assess the performance of each one, will assess the psychology of each one, will assess the health condition of each one, will assess the spread of influence of each one within the international communities, and how he will be accepted in Nigeria. So there are so many criteria that we will lay down to look at that. But truly, as a opposition party, they are really coming up. And it means that the ruling party must have to be very, very serious, especially that now they are lucky. The time has been extended by INEC, so they have more time to do their own shenanigans and then check some of these things. But if that is not done, then they will have problem. So it is important now. APC now sees this, so that we'll come and sit down here and say, now look, within the context of organization or the conduct of the election, it was so peaceful, it was so beautiful, just like, oh, it's even better than that of the PDP. You know, we did that when they did the first conventions. Yes. We assessed the convention of the APC, we assessed the convention of the PDP, and we came out to say that the two parties really have tried, they are giving Nigerians some hope. But this issue of money, Delegate Balarabe, honestly, I'm telling you, it is discouraging Nigerians. From the time that the political parties started to hierarchize the cost of the nomination form, that one too is really outrageous. Because I agree, a political party has the mandate, has the right to fix whatever they want to fix, because they need some money to carry out their activities. Agreed. But at the same time, you shouldn't fix it in such a way that it will enfranchise some people from participating into that. So I think really they have really kind of denied themselves the contribution, the participation of very noble, humble, patriotic, nationalist human beings. So you find that we have a strata. We have a strata that will follow Madam Balarabe. Yes. That is, first and foremost, we have to really groom people to become vanguards within the Nigerian political system. We are not talking of the Mbanga here that will go and political vanguards. Yes. So that is the people at the. Then we have to come and then now look at who are going to be statesmen. You understand? Then when you have the statesman, then maybe you come and start looking for a nationalist before you look for a patriot. So all these stratas are now left to the wind. Nobody is even considering to see that we groom some people. You just find that some people just come and start saying that we now not too young to rule, not all this. You have not groomed them. You have not given them the necessary training. You understand? To be able to appreciate the culture, to appreciate governance, to appreciate the people, to appreciate the programs, to even appreciate the treasury of the country. So that you have not taught them. So they will go there with a negative mind. So, and at the same time, our curriculums in school, you understand? It's not emphasizing that in the civic education. So we see we are really a confused nation. We are not confused nation. We have really confused leadership. This leadership, they are not even confused. They are just selfish. They are not only selfish. They are just people that want to remain in power because they know what power it can give. It can give them money. It can give them security. It can give their families and friends all the necessary things to run away from poverty. And that poverty is not something that you can fight like that. Well, you only fight poverty because I've stayed there, Madam Balarabe, for over 12 years as a presidential assistant. So you can only fight poverty by making sure that every infrastructure is working. Nobody is going to beg anybody. The children go to school. The children, families go to hospital easily. There is easy transportation. Banditry is not there. So all these things, when they are there, then you fight poverty. But when you just keep amassing wealth to yourself, amassing power to yourself, I'm telling you, you cannot fight poverty. You will remain impoverished because you will not have time to enjoy all those things.
Well, let us come back and look at the forthcoming primaries of the APC. I will say all eyes are on the party now. The primary is coming on the 6th of June. And like I said, all eyes are now on it to see how it will conduct its primaries. But before then, there is this, well, I wouldn't like to use the word court case. Many of the aspirants under the party intend going to court because they describe the emergence of most of those to be in the primary as an imposition, leadership imposition. It means the APC lacks primarily the internal democracy. Exactly. What is your take on that?
Well, my take on that is really, I would have to really agree with the view of the majority here, because the fact of the matter is that you are the one who feels shortchanged. If you are shortchanged, then you really must have to go that. but it means that the party has failed to really, what do you call it, to maintain its successes. You see, maintenance of success, maintenance of prowess is a very, very difficult thing. If you don't know really how to maintain, how to really utilize the kind of victories you have in some places, then you'll end up really failing. You'll never enjoy it. So that's really what happens in the APC. Because everybody feels that really APC is the power that is the party that will just grab power. So people just come. And at the same time, you find that there are so many things that are happening that I feel I blame the leadership of the political parties, all of them together. Yes. Because you find that people just keep, what do you call it, cross-carpeting from one party to the other. And there is no provision in all of these parties. If you cross-carpet from one party, then you have to stay in the depot of the party or in the just ordinary membership of the party for at least 2 years. It means that you will have to go there, you have to really do so many things for the party to assess your competence, for the party to accept how reliable you are, for the party to assess whether or not you can be presented to Nigerians. So today you join a political party, tomorrow you are a contestant. It's true. You understand? So that one is not really helping Nigeria. It's not helping democracy. It's just the hypocrisy of the people that are manning the parties and manning the governments. So if this hypocrisy continues, I can tell you we will never have the leadership that we require in this country. You just can't have a leader just because he works, he has money. Just look at, I'm coming back to your question. Just look at what happened before this time when the political parties put their money or peg their money for presidential election, for example. See the army of people that were coming. Tell me how many of them are entrepreneurs. Tell me how many of them are industrialists. A lot of them, yes, a lot of them happen to be appointees, and a lot of them happen to be people that have grown in government. And if you calculate their salaries and what have you, take off, if I just give them salary, forget they pay bills, forget they pay school fees, forget all those things, find out, can that money be sustained and be saved up to that time? It cannot be Balarabi. Let us understand the mathematics. Let us understand the arithmetic. So if a country like this can go, that's why we call the APC, the EFCC, to now look at some of these things. That's why we kept calling. And I thank this young man that is there, Abdurrashid Bawa, for really listening and for him coming out to say that EFCC will do something. Whether I've seen them done it or not, the fact of the matter is that we cry over the media. All the media in this country, we have been crying, and they have listened to us, and they said they are going to do something. Fine. At least some may now think that really this thing is going to come. But the whole thing is that the political will is not there. So now back to your question. You see, the fact of the matter is that these people, even if they have court cases, the court cases they have, not until they start with their political party. Because the things that really usher or catapulted those people to the position of the candidates for the parties, I think is something that is internal. It's not a matter of INEC, it's not a matter of ICPC, it's not a matter of EFCC, it's not a matter of DSS. It's absolutely the internal democracy. Yes. And the internal democracy must have to be corrected by the party. That is why the parties must have to be really accused of refusing to be holding their conventions regularly. You find that a convention will be delayed for a very long time. Nobody is talking about it. Look at even what happened. Not until some governors really bulldozed their way to force APC to carry out the convention. In this, honestly, any Democrat must have to really appreciate the governor of Niger State, Sani Bello, and Mane El-Rufai of Kaduna State. Just put your politics aside. You must really appreciate them for forcing the APC to see light, for forcing the APC to live up to the dictates of the Constitution, the dictates of the rule of law. But at that time, you find that today is this the ship the post. Yes. Something is coming like this, ship the post. So to the extent that the players don't even know where the goal post is, so nobody is scoring any goal. So you see, the whole thing is that we shouldn't continue to live into a blame game. But let me quickly add this one, Madam Balarabi, yes, if we have time. You see, the issue of these delegates, while delegates really take this money, let us understand it. It is a fact. Delegates might have asked for this money. I'm not justifying. Yes. People listen, I'm not justifying. But the fact is that they were asking for this money because of the attitude of the people after election. Balarabe, when you have a candidate, before he becomes a candidate, he's a different person.
Yes.
When he becomes a candidate, he will change. You understand? He will change a color. He will be looking like you a little, and then looking like the demon a little. Then by the time he enters office, he's completely a demon. He will not call them to answer. They will not listen to you. They will become too pompous. Even to shake, they will just do like this. It's you that you take your hand to shake them. You understand? So some of these things are there. So these delegates realize that, now look, we and these people is only at this level. They will enter government houses, they will enter legislature, they will enter presidential suits. They will never listen to us. They will never look at our way. They will never even pick our calls.
So let us maximize
our benefits. That is it. Because we have a leadership that is always not looking backward. We have a leadership that is not really, that is so clueless. Then it is after 4 years or so, they will now come back dishing out money to buy the conscience of the people, because they have impoverished the people. The people are so traumatized, you understand, by the effect of poverty, because you find that the effect of poverty will have to eat them, to eat every facet of their fabric. Is it school fees? Is it electricity? Is it water? Is it transportation? Is it health? So everything you look at, you are subjected, you are forced into poverty. So the best thing is that now let us see what, but if maybe the government will now come and say, now look, we are going to do certain projects in your area, and you people take control of that. What is wrong with that? They will guide it, they will do it, to the extent that you find that today, government is constructing, is putting an infrastructure, you find that people are stealing it. Go and see.
Exactly.
In many societies, if it is maybe water, the taps, you find that the pipes, in the night somebody will come and remove them. If it is street lights, in the night somebody will go and remove them. Especially that now we have these solar street lights all over the country. So this is it. To the extent that we have to come now to see that ourselves really transferring the aggression. The aggression is being transferred. And how can you transfer it? You only transfer it, maybe you can use religious factors to transfer it to somebody who is not in your religion. You use an ethnic factor to say that as if they are the people that cause. They are not the people. The cause of the problem are the people you are hailing every day. And the people that you want to die for every day. And they don't care a hell about you.
Okay, Comrade, before we go back, we reach our viewers and listeners. Let us look at the primaries still on the APC. It is a thing that many make their assessment regarding the flag bearer and of course their running mates. Let us take, for example, if Bola Ahmed Tinubu emerges as the flag bearer, from where will he pick his deputy? Also, Oshibanjo. I mean, the issue of religion and of course geographical representation will play a significant role for the party to win the election. What is your arithmetic or calculation to that?
Well, you see, the two of them, you cannot say really are likely to emerge as the presidential flag bearers. Because we have seen that in 1979, when there was MPN, GNPP, NPP, PRP. I think we had 5 political parties, and I think I've mentioned them now.
Yes.
So when we had that, MPN appeared to be the strongest party before it even got to the election, and they won everything. So what happened was that so many people showed interest. Remember, Metamasule was there, late Ademuchirum was there, and then some other technocrats were there, to the extent that the whole arena was modeled up. What did MPN did? They went back, they said, now look, the supremacy of the party is over each and every one of you. So we are keeping you, all of you, aside. MPN used their technocrats. They went into the nooks and crannies of this country, and they picked somebody. That somebody they picked was a local government chairman. He was the chairman of Yabo local government area of Sokoto State. That was Shehu Shagari. And when Shehu Shagari was brought, in fact, you can see he has the best accent to make a president of this country. He speaks the most fluent English that you cannot be able really to fault. And he was so calm, he was so calculating, he was so decisive, and he was so obedient to the rule of law. That shows Shagari. Even though he was not appreciated at that time, but they brought him. So I can tell you now, with the PDP primaries conducted, with Atiku emerging, then the mathematics, if they are really sincere, it will have to really be changed.
Do you see APC?
So APC, yes, if they pick Tinubu will have problem there, because finding a deputy that is going to be well accepted within the context of the geopolitical zone and within the context of our narratives. I'm not using any stereotype.
Yes.
You understand? So, in fact, Tinubu will have problem because of the problem of selecting a deputy. That's why now he is between the devil and the deep sea. Is he going to select somebody from a region that may not be accepted by the majority, or is going to close his eyes and pick somebody from the minority and then make his deputy? And if he's going to select another person from the majority to do it, then maybe from the south of Nigeria completely, there may be some kind of resentment. But I know, with what happened between Kingibe and Abiola, so this one is likely now to be overcome now, because the people that will make the kind of propaganda, the kind of enlightenment that will take place there. But you see, now, right now, Osibanjo is facing a steep opposition too, from people outside Nigeria, especially with one letter that was written by his church. That one really is still ringing bell, thinking that really he's not going to be a president that will be trusted, especially when it comes to issue of religion. So you see, the problem of Nigeria is that when you want to be a president of Nigeria, try to make sure that as much as possible, you show some kind of harmony. There is no negative stereotyping here, but these are things that are going on social media. I read about one, Farouk Farogi.
Yes.
Farouk Farogi has given so many evidences against Mr. Vice President. And there is a lot of so many things being said about Bola Tinubu, because one, his health, and other. You see, there are so many things. Let us wait and see who will come. But at the same time, you force me to talk about this one. But I hope next time when we come, you bring somebody from that section. If there are people that will defend them, I will now be able to fight them squarely and then make my point as person who is interested in our national harmony. Because some of these things are not. You see, when Peter Obi withdrew from the presidential race, I was quick to make an observation that many people were not ready to make. Peter Obi, I said, withdrew technically because of certain moral issues. Agreed. There was a 1 million man march or road work that was done on his favor. But what kind of things happened there? You understand?
Yes.
The kind of image, the kind of things they carried around with blood and all these things means that this man cannot be a Nigerian president. It means that this man still has that sectional bias in him. So his kinsmen, you understand, shot him at the foot. So there's nothing he can do. But because he is not assertive enough, he couldn't come out and blame his kinsmen for telling him to withdraw. He knew the PDP, and he stood as their number 2 man. So you see, this kind of
but later
hypocrisy.
yes.
You see, it's hypocrisy, it's political hypocrisy that is just trying to create a kind of unnecessary tension, a kind of unnecessary hatred between the people of Nigeria. You see, if we continue to close our eyes on some of these things, we'll never move anywhere. You understand? Yes. So the fact of the matter is that he has not withdrawn from that race out of the conviction that something wrong technically is happening in the PDP. He withdrew because his kinsmen that organized that rally for him didn't do the right thing. That's why you didn't find the happenings so much on the social media. It's something that should be carried on social media. It's something that other aspirants to whatever position can organize and then do it. But when you have people that will come because of the crowd protection to be saying things that they cannot ordinarily say, I think really is unfortunate.
It's okay. I think let us go back to our listeners or viewers on the number to call and make the input. We have 090-6514-30 3699. 09065143699. And we have 081 45687335. 08145687335. Before then, comrade, let us look at the emergence of NNPP, popularly known as Kaya Marmari political party. But let us see if we will get this one.
That's a very interesting area to chat.
Hello? Okay. Yes, you may go ahead.
Okay, you see, the emergence of the, let me write the acronym. What do you call NNPP? Yes.
Exactly.
The emergence of this NNPP,
Yes.
I think really is a good, what you call paradigm shift from the kind of traditional politics that we used to have.
Yes.
Nigeria, we thought that we can have two political parties like we have in America, and then we have other.
This is it. Okay, sorry to cut you. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Who is on the line?
My name is Bashir, calling from Jos.
Okay, how is Jos, Mr. Bashir?
Fine and good.
Okay, go ahead to make your own input.
Please, I want to make a contribution.
Go ahead.
To make a contribution to your program this morning.
Okay, go ahead. We are listening.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes.
Madam Bashir, I wanted to.
Well, to hear
Please,
from.
Madam Bashir, in the name of God, if you can see us, please try again.
Try again, exactly.
Yes, because all the way from Jos, it's
Jos,
really interesting that
it's
we
really,
have. So congratulations,
DITV.
Yes.
Well, to tell you that we are even received outside Nigeria.
Yes, the last time we were here, somebody from Maiduguri called.
Exactly.
Yes,
exactly.
Yes.
Okay, if you can go ahead to make your.
Well, as I was saying, the coming
Yes.
of the NNPP
Yes.
is a good paradigm shift for Nigeria, because when you look at the thinking of Nigerians, is we can be like America, United States of America, because we borrowed the system from them, where they have two outstanding political parties, but that doesn't stop other smaller parties from existing. So without something
And
like
they are
that,
making impact.
Yes, and they are making impact, because
Exactly.
sometimes you really need to go to them to lobby to get some of your things going. So we thought something like that would happen in Nigeria, but that didn't happen to be the case, because you find Nigerian politicians moving from one party to the other, jumping from one party to the other. Even the Konkoso that has really formed this NNPP is because of these disagreements that he has been having with those. There is no party he has not been to. He was in NPP, he was in APC, he was in PDP. You understand, now he has formed this one. And the fact of the matter is that this new party he has formed, that's why I said it's a paradigm shift, to show these big political parties that they have a lot of things to do. They really must have to make sure that they respect the rule of law, they respect the whims and caprices of other people when they come in, to be able to be allowed now to really flourish, to be allowed really to exist. But when they come, you suffocate other people. You refuse them to really exist. You want to really bring them down. So there is no way you can have members. It's because these two parties are very rich. If not because they are very, very rich, they have better spread. They have better people that can man the polls for them. I can tell you, many people will not really continue to stay and live with them, because the fact of the matter is that they don't allow new people to exist. So that is why you find that the whole thing is like you are recycling the leadership. Look, it's a shameful thing. You find a governor finishing 8 years term to go and start campaigning, and they're looking for senatorial seat. Why can't you look for presidential seat? So you find that the whole thing is just being recycled. Old wine in a new bottle. Of course. So how can we now say that our democracy is flourishing? So we feel that since the governor is always ahead of a senator, you finish that work, please look for presidential or vice presidential slot. But you find every governor is now, in fact, he will have somebody keep it for me, so that when I come, I'll take it. By proxy, they will have people to do that. So at the end of the day, they will come and say they are doing that. Reasons for that will not be given to you, will not be adduced. So the coming of the APC is good. It's a paradigm shift.
Okay, let's see if we get it. Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Who is on the line?
My name is Abubakar Sabiu, I'm calling from Entukwana, Tidunga, Kaduna.
Go ahead, Malam Abubakar, to make your input. Wow, I think we're having problem with the with the line. You know, it's Nigeria anyway.
No, it's not Nigeria.
Well,
It's the service providers.
Okay.
They have been allowed. They should be charged for these kind of things. You see, if the rule of law is moving, they should be charged. They should be made to pay for this anomaly, for this abuse, for this embarrassment.
exactly.
Yes, you know.
Exactly. Anyway, let us come back to NMPP. Many look at the emergence of this political party as a spoiler. But though you have
it's a
different
paradigm shift. No, it's a paradigm shift.
shift.
It's a paradigm
This is
shift.
it.
It's not a spoiler.
Well, in Kano, the intention allegedly is to see to the break of votes, quantum votes perhaps, to one party. But with the emergence of the NMPP, sorry, you can see the break in block vote.
Well, you see, I really expect Konkoso to do that, to really have a party, because he was in the APC. It didn't end up well with him and the current governor, to the extent that it was really too bad, you know, and then too uncalled for. What happened between himself and the governor because of the presidential, of the gubernatorial election. And so many things were done by the government of Ganduje, which really went bad with Konkoso. So Konkoso really must have to look at that. And Konkoso must have to really make sure that he breaks the power, the stronghold of Ganduje in Kano. So he went to the PDP, and that in the PDP too, he made so many stumbling blocks to the extent that they were even in court before he left to form this party. So I don't know that he's going to continue with the case in court or he's going to leave it, to the extent that even the convention in the Northwest Geopolitical Zone was suspended because of the court case. So you see, so Konkoso really must have to, and for Konkoso really to assert his political supremacy over anybody in Kano State, Konkoso brought this party. And then immediately he brought it, you can see the army, the people of that they were trooping. And that's why you use the Hausa word Kayan Marmari. And they even have a good slogan for it, that these are the things that you find in paradise. You will not find the other emblems of the political parties in paradise. So I'll not call the emblems. So at least you never find them in paradise. So he has got that one. And you know, people want to listen to those kind of really kind of jovial things, jovial talks, you know, humor, the sense of humor that was put there. And the good thing is that in Kano, they are not really the volatile kind of people. You find that there is more infighting than inter-party squabbles in Kano today. You find that if you can find any problem, it's within the political party. It's an intra-party crisis that is happening. Yes. You will never find PDP and the APC fighting. Each one is trying to sluggle it out in its own home. So it's their own problems that are there. And at the same time, the way I think Konkoso to show that is he realized that the justice will not be made to his people. So anyway, the best thing is he has to.
If you can respond, I'm sorry. Hello?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yes, sir, you are on to Murtala Mujaro Rigata.
Okay, go ahead and make your input, Murtala.
Thank you. Good morning, Madam.
Good morning, Murtala. How are you?
Fine, thank you, Madam. You see, Madam, I wanted to make some comments concerning for the both two parties, PDP and APC.
Thank you.
See, PDP, they did their primary election openly. You understand? The people are saying that they fight the vote, they pay money. Now it doesn't matter. The vote of the APC, they did their primary election secretly. No one knows what happened, what is going on. Even most of the candidates, gubernatorial candidates, I saw him on the social media complain that in Kaduna primary election they did quite even some of the ESCO, they did not allow them to go within the premises of and this is a great threat, the APC, you understand, because it shows that Atiku Abubakar is a lead fish in Nigerian politics. So they have to do what they're supposed to do, and they have to do things openly. That is my position. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, you have 2 minutes, comrade.
Well, you see, Murtala is a very young man. I'm happy that young men can observe some of these things, but I think they just need some little clarification here.
Yes.
You see,
you have 2 minutes.
Yes, okay. So 2 minutes, I'll try to see that. You see, we have said it right from the beginning that the conduct of the election was okay. But at the same time, certain anomalies have really happened even in the PDP. And in the APC, what the APC, any agreed party need to do is not to be making noise on the social media. Write a petition to the party, take that one to the party, pursue to the logical conclusion and get the result. Otherwise, you'll just end up there without getting the results. And at the same time, that ESCO are not allowed to really participate or to go into the venue of the election. If that is the case, then I think that's what the law says, because the amendment were made and were sent to the president, and the president has not really signed that. So the delegates were sitting, people that are supposed to be really elected. So an ESCO, just because you are an ESCO, doesn't make you a delegate. So you are not a delegate, you are not an automatic delegate by being an ESCO. So really, let us really understand the electoral law. Let us understand the things that are there. The amendment was made, but the president didn't sign that. If the president has signed that, so many people would have been delegates, and the number of delegates will have skyrocketed to maybe about 5,000 or so. But now we have just about 700 plus also. So it's easy to manage. It's easy for any political party to manage. But that's another topic also, to find the merits and demerits of some of these things.
Yes. Well, thank you very much, comrade. Listeners and viewers alike, I think this is where I'm going to draw the curtain of this program. In the last 1 hour, you had our guest who was almost an hour, a few minutes to the hour, who spoke elaborate, regarding this topic, which is examination of the conduct of primary elections of People's Democratic Party. Comrade, thank you very much for having time to attend.
Thank you, DITV, and thank you, Madam Balarabi.
And Alheri Radio.
And Alheri Radio.
Well, as once again, my name is Balarabi Lazaria, the anchor of this program, saying good morning.
Do you have a permanent voter's card, PV?